AM 1600K at ABQ.FM, rockoftalk.com, and Rock of Talk TV now for Apple, Roku TV, as well as we're on Apple Plus too. We're everywhere. Tego and Tracy Venturi start out every single Saturday right here in the Kiva. It's Albuquerque Real Estate Talk with Tego and Tracy Venturi, the Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Realty. You can pick up the phone and dial them directly, 448-8888. That's 448-8888, or welcomehomeabq.com. That's welcomehomeabq.com. They're my friends, and they are your friends in the real estate business. And by the way, folks, they are the best and two of the nicest people with the nicest family you ever did meet. And Tego and Tracy, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
That was very kind, Eddie. And you know, you stumbled on Realty, but at least you pronounced it right. You didn't say Realty or Realtor, which people get wrong. It's there's only two syllables in those words. It's real, like as in real estate, and T or Realtor. So sorry, I didn't know this was going to be a grammar lesson. I didn't mean to go there, but I just, I hear it a lot. And when people say it wrong, I always hear it right away. So anyway,
we're always glad to be here.
I just went off of, yeah.
Amazing today. I just want to say you guys both look absolutely amazing today, as always. And we got that beautiful graphic right behind you on the screen, a state-of-the-art real estate office with, I don't know how many people on your team, but there's a lot, and they're the best coaches as well as the producers in the business. And all you have to do is visit their website, welcomehomeabq.com. I've already talked too much, and Tego, I'm gonna say something. You've talked too much. We're gonna let Tracy go ahead and start the show right here. Right.
I was gonna say, Eddie, we've heard from a few of the listeners this week who are needing help with buying or selling, so we appreciate that, and we always appreciate being here. It's our favorite time of the week, right, Tego? It keeps us sharp. We always have to know our stats and be ready.
Yeah, we were having a conversation with a few people and talking about doing the show now. 300 now I don't remember. 348,
no,
49.
58.
58, 50. Oh man, see, it doesn't even. We were having the conversation though. It's like, we knowing the market, knowing what's going on in real estate in Albuquerque, in the country for that matter, is important, right? We're professionals. This is what we do. And being able to educate our team about what's going on and keeping everybody up to speed, doing the show weekly forces us to do that. So it's been a great thing. And we love trying to bring information that we're not supposed to use that word try. We love to bring information, and our intention is to bring really useful information to you people out there that listen, and just what's going on in the real estate world. This is our world. This is what we do day after day after day, and we love it. And so we're glad to be doing it.
We were on a training this week. Well, actually, it was an hour-long Zoom call with a real estate office in Oklahoma, and they have an icon series, and they invited us to talk. And it was really interesting because we're so used to talking real estate and being, presenters because of radio. They were all like, wow, you guys look so professional and you know your stuff. And we're like, yep, that's what we do. Well,
and part of it was our silly little husband-wife banter that we do too, and being funny. Yeah. So,
well, and we went overboard because, they needed it to be a little bit light and fluffy. So I was a little extra hard on you during that.
What's happening in the real estate market right now, and let's just get into this, is for real estate agents, for people that are buying, people that are selling, it's stressful. It's always stressful, right? It's never not been stressful for a real estate transaction, really, in the last, for however long. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a big deal, right? It's a big purchase.
Buying a home,
big sale. You're moving.
Or selling.
Now you put on top of that the fact that homes are selling in 4 days or less.
Minutes. Hours.
If you're a seller, you're getting 2, 3, 5 offers that now you have to figure out, okay, what's the best offer? Now I got to figure this out. Which one's going to be the best thing? Which one's most likely to close? Who's got the best financing? Is it cash? There's a lot more going on in this particular market. And then for buyers, Tracy, you want to talk about that?
It's a stressful time to be a home buyer. It's great. We have great interest rates. We have great providers. But there's competition for those homes, especially in the lower prices. Not to say that doesn't happen in the higher prices.
Oh, it
because
does.
we've had two luxury home buyers in the past week who ended up with in multiple offer situations. So it's all price ranges.
Yeah, it is. And so the point is, having somebody to help you through. Obviously, I'm going to pitch, what we do. That's now seen this a lot in the way this market is. It's bananas out there. It really is. And
we're going to get good with the bananas emoji.
I heard somebody talking about that, and I'm like, okay, that's a good expression. That's better than it's crazy. It's insane. I like it. It's just bananas, right? That's a good one. And so that's what we're dealing with. I got a lot of info to share, Tracy, about the market. We've got the February Albuquerque numbers ready to talk about that. Some really big headlines there. I also wanted to talk about a little bit of history, what happened with prices in 2020, and then what the experts are saying for 2021. But first, we want to start with this. I want to have a conversation to people you may know that are, I'm going to call them distressed, or maybe mortgage distressed or financing distressed on their home. And what options do those people have, Tracy? Because there's been a lot of news since, the beginning of the pandemic about people that are in what they call a forbearance plan. So what happened back, and let's just do a little history lesson here. Yeah, go ahead.
The word forbearance is something we had never talked about on our radio show up until the pandemic.
Up until April last year.
And the forbearance is, really specially made for the pandemic. It's rules and laws that were put in place to assist people who suddenly found themselves out of work, perhaps through no fault of their own due to a pandemic. People who had maybe two incomes and now went to one or none. And the programs were there to help them with not being able to make a payment, perhaps.
The basics of the forbearance plan is you have what they call a mortgage servicer, somebody that's collecting your payments on your mortgage, and you reach out to them and say, hey, whatever happened, right? Lost, like Tracy said. And so they'll put you on this forbearance plan. And basically what it does is put your mortgage payment on hold. It doesn't put your interest accrual on hold. Interest keeps accruing, but your monthly payment is on hold. There's some workouts and there's some other things in there too. Maybe you're not making the full payment or whatever it is. Yeah.
And when you're not paying, when you're in forbearance, you're not being put in a program for foreclosure. Right.
Correct. So it means that the mortgage is on hold. It's not going to go to the courts and start a foreclosure proceedings. Let's sidebar that for a minute. And that is that currently there actually is a national rule in place for any loans that are government-backed loans, that foreclosures, or the moratorium on foreclosures, and it just got extended. Again, that was one of the headlines in the last week, was that foreclosures are now, there's a moratorium on them through
end of June.
June, yes, thank you. And so that's a whole different conversation. But what we want to talk to are the people that have been not able to make their payments, and what are their options going forward when either they start getting that income back, they can start making their payments again, or they're in a situation where they're not going to be able to stay in the home. So what are people's options, Tracy?
Actually, there's more than we might think, right? Obviously, one is you start making payments again. You're back to work, maybe, the New Mexico has opened up a bit. So perhaps more people are back to work and they're getting some income and they're able to start making their house payments again. So there's one. What happens though?
And what I hear people calling that is they're exiting the program, meaning They're just getting back on and they're starting to make their payments again on their mortgage.
Right. So what happens with maybe 6 months or 12 months that they didn't make payments, Tego? The interest is still accruing. However, they haven't made a payment, which is the house and the interest, right?
Yeah.
So the lender tax the amount that they haven't paid onto the end of the loan.
Right.
So it basically extends it. So if they had a 30-year loan and they're 1 month or 1 year behind, it would extend it 1 month or 1 year.
Yeah.
In general.
And of course, details vary. Talk to your mortgage servicer. The thing is, all of these I call them mortgage servicers because that's really what they are, but your bank, your lender, whatever you want to call it, they want to make these things work, right? They want to work it out. This is not like 2008, 9, 10, when they didn't know what to do. There was no plans in place. There was no vehicle for people to get worked out of these payment problems. Now they're there. The lenders, the banks, they want to make this work. So reach out to them or tell your friends to reach out to them.
So that's the first one, is reach out to the lender if you're able to start making payments again, get the plan in place, be comfortable with it, and know what you're up against and how to move forward. Second Tego?
Second option, you sell the home.
Right. And so, Tego, we hear a lot of doom and gloom when it comes to forbearance. But what we know is because home prices have continued to rise for the last 15 years, most people have quite a bit of equity in their home.
I can't tell you how many stories I've read or seen or heard where people that are in forbearance or are delinquent on their mortgage, means that they're automatically, you have to just count those all as they're going to be foreclosures.
It's so wrong. It's such poor reporting.
It just doesn't work that way. The thing is, if somebody, is behind on their mortgage, they can't make their payments, but they have equity, and we'll talk about equity in a second, meaning the home is worth more than they owe, even if they've been missing payments. They sell their home, they pay off the mortgage, and they move on.
Right.
Right? No foreclosure on your record, no short sale on your record.
Even the non-payments aren't going to hurt you like they used to because of the forbearance program. So
the beauty is, in the last year, in nationally, it's about 10%. In Albuquerque, it's about 10% in equity gain for, of course, that's average, right? It's higher for lower price, it's lower for higher price. But we've had some equity gain of about 10%. And so people are in a very strong equity position. And just to give you some comparison, you go back to 2008 when we were in a very weak equity position, when the market crashed and we had the financial crisis. People didn't have an option. They couldn't sell. They were upside down on their mortgage. There's going to be some of that out there, but nothing like we saw back then.
Other options, Tego?
Yeah.
For someone who has maybe not been able to make their payments or has, entered the forbearance program?
Short sale. We haven't heard that term in a while. So a short sale, we did a fair number of these back in the day. And a short sale is where somebody owes more on their home than the payoff, right? They're upside down. This is a workout with the bank. Again, it's a workout with the bank. It's a little bit different though. So you list the home for sale, and opposed to just walking away from the home, letting it go to the bank, letting them foreclose it, letting them sell it on the courthouse step. Now you're doing a workout where you're saying, okay, I'm going to sell the home. I'm not going to be able to pay you all the money that I owe you, but you're going to have to take short, meaning the bank, the lender, what that difference is. And that's what a short sale is. And I can see that those are going to be much more streamlined this time around, because we know in 2009, Tracy, when we started doing them, banks weren't ready to deal with them. The lenders weren't ready to deal with them. This time they're going to be, if we get some of those, which we will.
And it's not that they have to. The bank doesn't have to take short what they're owed.
Thank you.
However, it's a process. So we work with, you and the lender and have this communication and say, would you be willing to take this price for the house, even though it's not going to pay the mortgage off in full?
Yes.
And we go through this kind of negotiation process where typically the lender will say, I will take X. If you can sell the house for this, I would agree to take short $20,000 or whatever and forgive it, or put a payment schedule together, however they want to schedule it out. And that, to them, it's much better than them going through foreclosure. It can happen faster. Typically, when a house goes through foreclosure, it sits empty for a long time, and houses don't like that.
Well, and they lose even more value. So the banks, the lenders are motivated to do this because they know that in the long run they're actually going to net more,
by taking short what they're owed.
Exactly, versus going through the whole foreclosure process, paying all the lawyers and the attorney and the time and the home getting trashed and so on and so forth. So this is a long conversation, but I think it's important. And I appreciate listening. And the thing I want to say.
2 other things, though.
No, I know 2 other things, but let me just say something. If you know somebody, or maybe you're curious, or that's not the right word. You suspect that somebody friend, family, might be in a situation like this. They may be, that person may not know what to do. They may be stuck. They may be going, oh my gosh, how do I get out of this? Have them reach out to us. Let's have a private conversation about your options. We're going to be just like as honest we are on the radio show, right? We're not just going to try to sell everybody's home. We want to help them do what's best for their particular situation. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tracy. A couple more things.
2 other options.
Both of them are not the good options.
Well, one is deed in lieu.
Yeah.
You turn the keys into your lender and say, here's the house, right? And they have to agree. And the other is foreclosure, which most people know what that is. It's a long process. It's not good. Process. It's not easy. Much better because people have equity in their homes typically right now, just to sell it and move on.
Wow.
That was a big topic.
That was a big topic, and we covered a lot there. Again, if you know anybody that's in a situation and they want to have a conversation, have them reach out to us. We're Venturi Realty Group, Keller Williams Realty, 448-8888.
So just thinking about this for a minute, I know we were going to move on, but one of the things that happened in like 2009, 2010 is people didn't have those conversations. Yeah. They were embarrassed because they weren't able to make payments on their house, or they couldn't sell it and walk away without having to bring money to closing. It's so different now. But again, there's nothing to be embarrassed about, right? It's happening. The pandemic could never have been forecast. People lost jobs that shouldn't have, or lost income. Just not addressing it is not the best route, right? So if you know someone, just have them reach out and we'd be happy to help them through it. Next, let's talk about some homes. I don't want to run out of time because, we're realtors. This is part of the best thing we do is help people buy and sell homes. I have a couple of properties to talk about. One really interesting one, Tego. It's in Stanley, former Governor Bruce King's part of the woods, so to speak. Out north Edgewood, North Moriarty
really is where Stanley is. So if you go east to Moriarty, take a left. You'll start going north and you'll come to Stanley.
Okay, so 321 White Lakes, and it's 70 acres with a home, small little bit of cross fencing and things for
home on the range.
Home on the range. There you go. It's less than an hour to Santa Fe from there. It's less than an hour to the Albuquerque airport from there. 70 acres, pretty cool. I know it's flat, sort of not. It's very open, but there are the mountains out to the north. So you have, where the home is in that Stanley area. It's pretty flat. It's wide open spaces.
It is. It's wide open spaces. Yeah. However, if you want that,
it's cool.
It's pretty cool. And
I always love driving through there when I'm showing homes. I kind of get this really comforting feeling there. So anyway, 70 acres, Stanley. And we have another one, 7716 Roberts, will be open this weekend. First time showing. It's in La Cueva District. If you're interested in that area.
That's going to be a hot one.
Yep. Saturday, 1 to 3. And then we have one coming on El Fago in the North Valley. And you'll just have to call us for information on that because we're still negotiating on its first open house and their first showings and things. But we do have it in our coming soon status, so we can get you information on it. Another one in Loma, Colorado and Rio Rancho coming with an open house. So my best advice is give us a ring and find out when and how to see those houses that we have coming soon, and we'll make sure to get you taken care of. The best way, 448-8888 is our phone number. We have a great team of realtors that work with us. Whoever answers, if it's not us, would be happy to help you get your real estate questions answered.
Okay, Tracy, I'm just dying here.
I know, stats, the statomatic, and you just can't handle it.
It's time to get to stats. All right, let's talk about some February home sale data for the Albuquerque area, and a couple big headlines. I mean, actually, there's multiple all-time highs, all-time lows, depending on what we're talking about. First and foremost, I want to talk about average price and median price. Average price for the greater Albuquerque area is now $299,000 in February. That is an all-time high. And to put that in comparison, so $299, just set that in your brain. July of 2007, which was our other high, was $248,000. So we're now $299.
50,000 more.
Okay, and this is average price. So, our low hit $179,000 in January of 2013. It's really interesting, the swing and how much it's changed since, the low point in 2012, 2013. It's interesting. So average price, all-time high. Median price, same thing. All-time high, $257,000. The one that I watch a lot is average price per square foot. This is a better indicator of the overall change in prices over time. And Tracy, remember back in the, 10, 11, 12, and, when a home would be listed in certain neighborhoods over $100 a square foot, we'd go, well, what's so special about that house?
I remember when we could buy new construction, Rio Rancho, West Side, D.R. Horton, under $100 a square foot. I remember when we, probably 2013, when we got one under contract, and it was about $83 a square foot, and I just couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
Times change. All-time high average price per square foot now for the February of this just last month, $152
a square foot.
And if you look at that over a 12-month rolling, meaning annualized, the price per square foot has gone up exactly 10%, which actually tracks exactly with the national average for home price appreciation over the last year.
And Tego, do you see that changing anytime soon, the trajectory?
Well, I'll tell you, there was a lot of all these companies that do research, the smart people in the room that do home price forecasts. So you're going to put me on the spot. And
the smart people in the room.
Yeah, smart people in the room. So, there's a whole bunch of groups: Mortgage Bankers Association, National Association of Realtors, Zelman and Associates, Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, CoreLogic, right? There's all these different groups that look at this. And you take all of them. The high said 2021, we're going to expect about 10, maybe 11% price appreciation. This is nationally. And the very lowest was 3% appreciation. So even the most pessimistic prognosticator is saying, how is that for a lot of big words?
That was really good.
That was a lot of big words altogether.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. They're saying 3%. So, and then there's, so average around 6%. I think we're going to see above that 6 for our market. To answer your question.
I have another question. I'm going to put you on the spot again. Would you be a home buyer in this market?
It's interesting because I don't remember who I was talking to. I talk to so many people about the market all the time. And I said, I'm a home buyer. I'm a buyer right now. I'm not a seller. We have multiple rental properties. We have one that just, is coming on the market. And somebody's like, oh, do you want to sell it? You want to sell it? I'm like, nope. I'm not a seller right now. I'm holding in this market. I don't see. You
would buy, though.
I would buy if, opportunity was right.
You heard it right here. That means I get to go find another house to buy.
We don't.
Another rental, right?
Yeah, no rental. I'd be happy with the rental.
Yeah.
It pays for itself, and
my
that's a whole
point
other
is-
conversation we don't really have on the radio show. Tracy
My point is
rent real estate as investment property. I just wanted
we
to
do
say
have that on the radio
Once in a
occasionally.
while, yeah.
I mean, we would be a home buyer if we were renting right now. We would buy as a home, for primary residence for sure.
Even if
we
interest
wanted-
rates go up to 3.5%, which
Or
they may
4.
by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What other stats do you have for us, Tego?
Turn off the phone when you're on the radio, Tracy.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
a
That was
pointer.
that was me. That wasn't her. Bad habit. Just to wrap up that conversation about the market, I was saying all-time highs, right? Prices, all-time home high. Inventory, meaning the number of homes for sale, are at another all-time low. I saw that homes under 200,000, which there's very few on the market anymore, it's like 0.2 months supply, whatever that is, 6 days.
The numbers, though, for our listeners that listen to us every week, we appreciate them, and they probably know what I'm about to say. Some of them is we still have a lot of houses coming on the market. We just have a lot of buyers, so it's not. We have homes. It's just they're selling quickly, and we need more properties for sale.
I've got a stat for that.
Hurry up, because I still need to talk about one area of town before we run out of time.
Well, then I won't go into too much. So over the last 12 months, we had an increase of about 7% in the number of homes going off the market, and we had a decrease of the number of homes coming on the market of about 6%. So yes, we're not getting as many homes as we would like as we've had. However, the homes are selling, right? They're selling. The buyer demand is very strong. And just one last thing, I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. It could happen if interest rates get pushed up quite a bit. So
last week,
yes,
I talked about the Georgia O'Keeffe Elementary School neighborhood.
Right? You got a neighborhood. Let's do it.
And I had a viewer say, hey, can you contrast it with Tierra Antigua, which is on the west side, Ventana Ranch, Montecito Estates area, kind of west of Unser, north of Montano, all the way up to Rio Rancho. There's another elementary school in there too. The Ventana Ranch Elementary School is in there. So I'm just looking at Tierra Antigua, which is in a cluster. The middle school, the elementary school, the high school are all right there next to each other. Volcano Vista High School and Tony Hillerman, I think, is the middle school. So just to give some stats on Tierra Antigua, which somewhat surprised me, especially based on some of the stats you just said of what the average home price is. But of the homes that are for sale, there's 11 active on the market as of the moment I'm talking. Average is 2,700 square feet. Average price of those 11 is $380,000.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a pretty wide range from
sure.
of land
right
where those homes are, so they range, but the
there's some bigger lots in that area too. Not
there
just
right.
I shouldn't say just, but subdivisions. Yeah.
Right. The low price right now is $270,000 today in there, and we know the average was $298,000, so we're pretty close to it. The high price of what's on the market right now is $565,000, and that $565,000 home is new construction that I'm not even sure has been broken ground yet. It's $227 a square foot for that new construction on Rimrock.
Yeah,
and that's the high in the area. The pending. So the active ones, they average 2,700 square feet, big houses.
Yeah.
The homes that are in pending sale, there's 38 of them. So, that's more than 3 times what's on the market that are under contract, ready to sell. And they were closer to 2,100 square feet. Yeah. Average price of those, we don't know the average sale price yet, but the average price when they went pending sale was $308,000. And then closed in the last year, there's been 341 sales. Average was around 2,400 square feet, so good size home.
Remind everybody where you're talking about, just since if they came in the middle of this conversation.
Tierra Antigua Elementary School is in the Volcano Vista area, high school area.
Okay.
So west side,
Yep.
Ventana Ranch, Universe, Paradise Hill,
Okay.
West Paradise. Closed 341. Average price was $309,000.
Got it.
So higher than the average around the city. But, again, that's those three schools, elementary, middle, and high school, are all newer schools. Newer schools tend to have higher ratings, and they tend to be schools that those three, that cluster, are highly desired by home buyers. And, a lot of the houses are walking distance to the schools, which is great for parents and for kids.
Well, schools make a difference, and it always has for home values. Good schools, especially for the suburban areas where you can expect, families.
Right.
Schools always are going to affect home values. Remember the Starbucks effect? Remember that? It used to be a thing. I don't know if it is anymore because there's a Starbucks everywhere now.
Right. So in that area right now, there are some new homes being built.
Yeah.
Beautiful homes. We've been able to help a few home buyers buy new construction. Hakes Brothers has a great neighborhood there. We've toured their homes. They're just gorgeous. But if you're looking for a home, give us a ring, 448-8888. And just remember that we do help with new construction. We can show you all the different builders from custom to whatever is out there. We know it. We know where they're at. Don't just stop at one sales office and say, oh, I'll take it. Let us show you a few. There are some home builders that have homes either done, ready to move into, or almost ready. And they're not always on Zillow, especially not on Zillow these days because their system's been down a lot.
A lot of the builders are so busy, they're not even taking the time to list them either in the multiple listing service or on sites like Zillow or some of the new construction home sites. So, you need a bird dog out there right now working for you. You need a realtor that's working for you to find you those homes that maybe aren't coming up on some of the normal sources. We've talked about this before, Tracy, in the whole coming soon option. We do have a coming soon status in our MLS, meaning these are homes that are going to be coming on the market. You can't see them. I'm not trying to be secretive here, but they're not available
to the public.
To the public yet. You're not going to find them on Zillow or Realtor.com or any of those websites. Our website, even, right? They're not. They're internal, and so you do need to work with a realtor and make sure that they're watching that for you so that they know. I think we're going to wrap up. Tracy, how do people get a hold of us?
Give us a ring, 448-8888. Until next time, thanks.